Hi guys, and welcome back to Culture, Lifestyle and Mental Health Podcast, Season 1, Episode 2, hosted by myself, Nessie London. We are back with another discussion, and if you are joining us for the first time, this is a podcast where I connect with people around the world to talk about topics surrounding culture, lifestyle and mental health. If you're new to our podcast and want to get involved with our conversations, use the hashtag CLMPODCAST and follow our Twitter at CLMPODCAST1. Our Instagram is at CLMPODCAST. So last week, our topic was about long distance relationships. And I left you guys with the question, if you were given a new job opportunity abroad and you were in a relationship, what would you do? So thanks for getting involved with that. And continue to use the hashtag to get involved. Okay, so our topic today is changing your job during a pandemic. And I have two special guests today, Shaniqua and Sammie. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm all right.
Good. Sam,
Hi,
how are
guys.
you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm good. I'm blessed.
Good. Thanks for joining us today and welcome to the podcast. Okay, so just to start off, for the people tuning in now, if you two could just tell us about yourselves and why you've taken an interest in this topic. So, Sammie, let's start with you.
Yeah, so my name's Sammie. I'm 20 years old and currently I am an apprentice at the GLA, so the Greater London Authority. And yeah, we need to know about me. I have my own podcast called Connect 3 Podcast.
Nice.
I just started late last year, so in December. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much. And Shaniqua, if you could just tell us about yourself and why you took an interest in this topic today.
Okay, so I'm Shaniqua. I'm 18 years old from Southeast London. I'm also an apprentice at the GLA with Sammie. And the reason why I wanted to get involved in this is because our apprenticeship started right at the beginning of the lockdown.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So the topic today is change your job during the pandemic. So obviously we know the pandemic has taken a huge toll on people's lives and lifestyle. The way in which we live our lives now has changed drastically with everything being closed down. So the first question to you guys is, how have you been affected by the pandemic and in what ways has your lifestyles changed? Shaniqua, should we start with you?
Okay, in what ways have I been affected by the pandemic? I would say my mental health has been affected in some good ways and some bad ways. My job, I would say, because basically, let me tell you the story of like how our job kind of started during the pandemic. So obviously we applied I think mid 2019 and we got accepted in like late 2019.
Okay.
So obviously the apprenticeship was going to start in March 2020. We knew about Corona. Well, I knew about Corona, but I didn't know that it was going to affect our apprenticeship how it did. So we went in for the first day, and then the second day we got like emails and messages saying that no one can come into City Hall. We're going to be in lockdown. I would say, to be honest, because this was my first 9 to 5 role, my first office role, it kind of was my normal because I've never experienced working in an office. So I wouldn't say like my work has been affected that much. I could obviously see why like being in an office would be better in certain situations, like getting to know people better and learning how to do new things, because obviously in the office you can just tap someone on the back and be like, oh, how do you do this? But other than that, it's just kind of normal to me.
Cool, great. And Sammie, how has it affected you? How's the pandemic affected your lifestyle? Has there been any changes for yourself?
Yeah, so likewise to Shaniqua, right before our job role, I was studying, so I just finished my A levels, and it was the thing whereby I decided to defer my uni placement, and the reason why I decided to was I just felt uni wasn't the way, but I felt I would gain more from working, and
getting the experience. Yeah, exactly.
Getting the experience. And I just thought the GLA, once I saw that opportunity, it was just something I had to take, whereby it's within government, public work, and I had studied government and politics, so it just fitted so nicely. And like Shaniqua said, like, we came in on the first day, had our introduction, and then literally as soon as I got home, I'm watching the news and Boris says lockdown, and it's like, wow, like is that it? And then ever since, it's just been working from home. And yeah, so with the lockdown, I'll say bad and good, as in at times it has affected my mental, but at times it has given me a way of thinking and meditating more.
Yeah, it helps you to self-reflect as well,
Exactly.
especially when you're just by yourself. You know, you have the chance to just think about what you really want to do. And also, you said that with uni, you decided to defer that. Do you think you'll change your mind in the future? Do you think you'll go back to studying? No?
You know what it is? Seeing my friends go down the uni route is really pissed me not to go, because with the lockdown as well, like, I'm telling you, being a uni student in this pandemic, in this lockdown, it is hard. Like, hard.
I can imagine. But yeah, for me, basically I work as an IT support analyst, so I'm working from home every single day, so Monday to Friday work, and then the weekends off. But the way it's affected me is I feel like I've had more time to focus on myself. Also, I've learned new things. Like, I started a new course on a website called Learning Curve. It's like got lots of free courses. And I've just finished a mental health course. So yeah, I'm just looking to improve my skills. So like when we come back out of lockdown, like I can add all these things to my CV and it'll just improve it and make me look, you know, add value to whatever company I decide to go on to next, which I think is a very good move to make now anyway, whilst we have the time. But yeah, okay, cool. So Shaniqua, this question is specifically for you. So why did you decide to start a new role, and how much of an impact did lockdown have on this?
Okay, so before I got into the role that I'm in now, I was a youth worker. I wouldn't say I was on like the most traditional route in life to kind of get where you want to be. So I didn't choose the educational route. I didn't have any grades, and I also needed like money to support my family. I then found out that because I was a youth worker in the same organization that I'm in now. So I then found out they'd done apprenticeships, and I was like, okay, cool, kill two birds with one stone. I can get money and also get my grade. And that's why I chose to apply. And I don't remember, what was the second thing you said?
Did lockdown have an impact on your decision to change your career role?
Okay, so when I applied, it was kind of, like I said before, it was like mid 2019, and then when I did get accepted, it was in late 2019.
Cool. Are you living with family, or are you guys living alone? Like, what's your like living situation whilst working from home?
So with me, I live with my mom and my sister.
Okay.
With that, it's cool, but honestly, with having an African mom,
of course, I was just about to get into that.
Yeah, what I'm gonna say is she doesn't know what working from home is. You get me? So
okay, yeah. And Shaniqua, yourself, are you living alone or with family?
Okay, so I also live with my family. I live with my mom and my brothers, and yeah, my mom's kind of the same. I'm Caribbean, but it's all the time. Oh, babysit. Oh, can you quickly do this? Can you quickly do that? In between each of your meetings and things like that. So yeah, it's the same.
Okay, cool. So how would you guys describe your support system? Because obviously you guys are at home. In 3 words, how would you describe it? So like living with family.
In 3 words.
Yeah.
That's hard. I want to say non-existent, but it's like every man fend for themselves kind of thing. You get me?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We do check up like in my household, we do try. I know me and my sister do try to check up on each other, but with the way my mum sees it, it's like you're working from home, innit? So you shouldn't be complaining. Like, it's not like you're out there.
It's kind of like just get on with it sort of thing.
Yeah, you get me. So that's what it is.
Okay, cool. And Shaniqua, yourself, 3 words to describe your support system for working at home.
3 words to describe my support system. I was trying to think while he was talking. I was thinking, it's a bit hard. Unlike Sammie's, mine is actually existent. I would say, I think it's every man fend for themselves when it comes to like my friends more, like people that ain't my family.
Okay, cool, no problem. I mean, I definitely can relate to you guys because I used to live at home with my mom, my dad, and my sister. But this was before I was working like a 9 to 5. But even just like working part time, like it was difficult. Like with African parents, they have like this expectation of you to just like achieve certain things by a certain time. Like if you don't do this, then you're a failure, sort of thing. And it's like the pressure is absolutely mad. So once I started working more and earning more money, I moved out when I was it 20? I think it was 22, the year after uni. Yeah, the year after uni. And then I started like renting, and like my environment now is just so much more positive because I can just like create my own lifestyle. So like I'm working, sometimes I travel as well. So I think it definitely does depend on your situation, and it can impact your mental health a lot. I feel like my mental health now is much more better because I'm in an environment where I can just focus on myself, save my money, work hard, and just, continue to develop my career. So, thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, sorry, could I just say I agree with you on that one as well. When I said that my mental health was like affected in a positive way, it's because I feel like this pandemic was kind of like the break everyone never knew they needed. I would say, it's given me more time. Well, it's given me like a chance to be more flexible. I'm quite an anxious person, so not having to do small things like small talk or working on my own is really good. And that stuff. So.
Okay, cool. So you guys obviously working from home. So would you say that you're fully happy from working from home?
Fully happy. I mean, not really, because I feel like it got to a stage whereby I was like, oh yeah, working from home, it's calm, like easy. But then it got to a point whereby with the work that I'm given and what's asked of me by my colleagues, it's a thing whereby I feel being in the office would have benefited me so well, because I'm a type of person that I can't show you the best of me if it's not in person. So with that being said, like my whole character, personality is based on talking to people, interacting with them, and working from home doesn't give you that
interaction, that communication with people.
Literally.
Yeah. Would you say it's more or less pressure working from home from like your managers? Like, would you say the pressure's more, or is it just the same? What would you say it's like?
I'll say it's less pressure because everyone's in the same boat. And in work, they're very understanding of the situation, as in, cool, we've got these apprentices. They probably, and also that we're young as well, so they probably never had that work experience. And to be working remotely is something that they never trained us for. You get me?
You kind of just had to dive into it and just adapt.
Yeah, so now it's just a adapting process. And like, it's literally only been, a year now? So getting to a year. So it's still new.
Right. And Shaniqua, what about yourself? Are you fully adapted to working from home? Are you enjoying it?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, at the beginning when I first found out we were working from home, I was happy. Like, I was actually happy. I was thinking, calm, I get to work from my bed, I get to sleep when I want, I don't need to rush and catch the bus, I can save money, all of that. But then as I was doing that, I realized that is actually not like the best way to work from home. Working from your bed, all it does is clash your personal time with your work time, with your chill time, and that is not the way to go. So I got very like frustrated, and yeah, everything was just clashed together. But then eventually I made like a routine, and I kind of, I stuck to it, and now I'm starting to enjoy working from home again, to be honest.
Interesting. I think for me, so basically I started working from home in March. So I was renting in some place in South London, and I went to stay with my friend. And then I was working from home with her. It was quite difficult as well because she had like a newborn baby, so it was like me working. So it was a lot of pressure on the beginning, much of a routine, because I was just diving into work. I wasn't really planning anything. It was kind of like last minute. And then eventually, over the months, I just got used to it. And now more recently, I've developed like a routine. So every morning I wake up, I go for a jog, because I basically have like a park opposite my house. So I'm regularly exercising. And then like after work, maybe I'll spend some time with my friends or call them if I can't visit them. But I think it's just very important to have that routine in place. Otherwise, you'll just go crazy, just not doing anything, not planning like your day. So it can be very, very difficult.
I agree.
Okay, cool. So, Shaniqua, the next question is for you. Did you experience any doubts or fears when changing jobs or applying for a new job? Because a lot of industries now are very like unstable and uncertain. Did you have any worries when moving to this new job role?
Okay. Yeah, I did, because I'm not gonna lie, all I saw was that people were losing their jobs left, right, and center, and I was just thinking, oh, please don't be me, because I have no grades. I've just left this job that I was at. Like, what would I do if I lost this this opportunity to be on this apprenticeship? So yeah, I was a bit scared. As far as stability goes, I would say our work is quite good with that, because obviously we are on a contract, so we're able to stay on it. I would say because we're public sector, a lot of budget cuts have affected like all the other people that may not be on contracts. But yeah, as far as that goes, yeah.
Okay, great. And Sammie, how did you feel when going into this role and feeling like there was stability within this role? Were there any doubts or worries for yourself?
Yeah, I think I had doubts like probably the first week, because like I mentioned, we had our introduction, and then literally that day and the next day they told us lockdown, and from that I'm here thinking, so cool, what's gonna happen with us? You get me? Because we haven't actually started work. So does that mean the apprenticeship is stopping? We're no longer going to be able to continue. But I think once they gave us that clarity that we're actually calm and it's not going to affect us, I was like, cool, I can keep a level head now. And with that being said, it was a bit nerve wracking, especially like what Shaniqua said. I mean, I came out of education wanting to do an apprenticeship, so if that wasn't there, it's like now I'm lost in it. I've lost my placement for uni, and now I need to wait until probably the next year. So yeah.
Okay. And within your firm, had they like told you like what you'll be doing long term? Like, are you like guaranteed a full-time job? Like Shaniqua, have they informed you of anything like that?
Yeah. So they have told us briefly what opportunities there are after, but it's not like set in stone. So it's them ones that we still have to wait till near the end of the contract to be like, cool, are there opportunities there for us? So yeah.
Okay, cool. And Sammie, do you have like a plan B? Like, is there like a backup thing that you would do, like another career that you'd go down? Like, say this doesn't, work out the way you wanted to.
Yeah, so I really want to have another position within the firm that I work in, because I really enjoy it, and it's it's what I'm about. Public development projects, like regenerating an area, which is the Newham area. So I really hope to stay there. But with a plan B, I feel just getting that work experience and probably having something that's full time. Because at the end of this apprenticeship, I'm getting a grade, a qualification, which I am happy with. So luckily, I'm still young, so I still have another year to like see what's out there for me. So yeah.
Exactly, and gain more skills along the way. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So with me, before I had this job as an IT support analyst, I worked in retail, and it was very physical. So it was a very, very difficult job. I had a lot of pressure from my manager as well, because the expectation was really high to obviously manage other colleagues and everything like that. So that was all before the pandemic. So luckily, I managed to get a job in this firm in September. And obviously we're working from home, which is very, very convenient. So I'm really grateful that I'm still working. I know a lot of people have been furloughed or even lost their jobs, and a lot of people have even moved away from London because they want to change like the way they live and everything. So it's definitely very, very difficult for different situations. Shaniqua, what advice would you give, or what strategies would you give to people looking for a new job role within lockdown, for people that maybe have fears or worries of, moving to another industry or career that's not unstable? How did you, what was your process in applying for a new job, and what advice would you give to people trying to do the same?
What advice would I give someone? I would say it's gonna be tough, and like obviously you're gonna have to accept that there's not gonna be much opportunities that are out there. But I would recommend, especially, I even got something that I could recommend to people my age. I think if you're 16 to 25, I think you're eligible to be a part of a 6-month kickstart scheme. So you can go on the government website and type in kickstart scheme, and you are then able to apply for a job, and the government will pay your salary for the 6 months during the COVID times, during the pandemic. So that's really good. So I'd say look for opportunities like that. Stay on the government website, because our organization is trying to do a lot to ensure that people are in jobs during this very scary time. And just cut yourself some slack. It's gonna be hard, but you got this, basically.
Brilliant, nice. Thanks for sharing that. And Sammie, did you give any advice to people that may have, stepped out of uni or are unable to go to university and are looking for an apprenticeship? What strategies or advice would you give them?
Yeah, I'll just tell them that it's going to be okay, because none of us asked to be in this situation. You get me? Like it just came out of the blue, and it's just perseverance and persistence. Because as long as you keep your head high and have a positive attitude and make the best of the situation you're in, I know it's easier said than done, but trust me, like in the long term, it's going to help you a lot. And we've been able to get through so many lockdowns so far. So the fact that you're still here, breathing, and still able to be in whatever situation you're in, just be grateful. And it's the start of the year, so you don't know what the year has for you.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And what would you guys say motivates you every day to just keep pushing and keep going despite this difficult situation that we are in within the pandemic? Shaniqua, what would you say motivates you and keeps you going?
I would just say, because I know what I want from life, I have to be grateful that I'm in the position that I'm in, being in a job, knowing that loads of people are losing out on their jobs. So I'm making the most of this opportunity, and I'm pushing harder because I've come so far, even having the background that I've had, not having education, and so that's what kind of pushes me.
Amazing. And Sammie, what would you say keeps you motivated, keeps you going despite this difficult time?
Yeah, it's just the fact that I've made it this far. You get me? And been through a lot, experienced stuff. So it's like, why should I stop now? And it's just that's just added motivation that you can still continue. And I'm a very like self-believer and someone that whatever I project into the world, if it's positivity, it will always come back to me and I'll always be rewarded. So that's just how I see things.
Amazing, amazing, wise words. Yeah, I would say for me, what keeps me going? I would just say God, really, and just, continuing to pray and being grateful for this situation I'm in now. And I feel like this year, last year actually, we just started this year. I've just been practicing gratitude so much more, knowing that everything that I once had access to is now not available for me. So I feel like I've been so much more grateful for what I actually have, like my job, my family, and most importantly my life as well. And I feel like, as you guys said, as long as you're alive, like you have a purpose to fulfill. So it's just important to keep positive and keep believing in yourself, as you guys said. So yeah, okay. Yeah, go on.
Oh, sorry. No, I just have a question. You
Yeah,
mentioned you and God. With the lockdown, would you say has that tested your faith in any way? Whether it being tested there as
Good question.
Yeah.
Has it tested I think in the beginning, I think I had a lot of fear of like I'm the kind of person where I like to plan, and if I can't see what's happening, I just get really like doubtful, like I have to know what's going on. But I feel like with the pandemic, because it was so like all of a sudden and none of us anticipated it, it's one of those things where I just had to just trust the process and just take everything a day at a time, because at the end of the day, it's not something that we as human beings can actually control. So I just continue to just have faith in myself and just believe in God and just accept the situation as it is. But yeah, what about you guys? That's actually a really good question. Was your faith tested, or are you religious at all?
Yeah, so I think with my mom's like she's a devoted lady like to the church. So So within this lockdown, it was a thing whereby like every day she's praying for the vaccine, like literally that's what all she's about. And I don't know, I feel like I won't lie, from sixth form and I think till probably the end of last year, like I kind of strayed away from church. You get me? But with the lockdown happening, and the fact that we were nearing the end of the year, it was like the fact that I've been through that. It's like it just makes you feel like God is with you, if you get me. So just with the lockdown itself, as I would say, it brought me closer to my faith. So yeah.
Okay, nice. And Shaniqua, what about yourself? Are you religious, and did the lockdown test your faith at all?
Do you know, I wouldn't take I wouldn't take myself to be a religious person, but I would say during these times I have been like a lot more grateful for everything.
Okay, great. Okay, cool. So the next part is, so since the pandemic, obviously the entertainment industry has been put on hold. For example, a lot of artists, they make their money through like performing and shows, and obviously you have social media influencers making their money through like appearances and shows as well. One thing I actually noticed was an influencer from Love Island was at one point asking her followers for money. Do you think there's any hope for this industry making money? And do you think there's any longevity in social media during this pandemic?
Wait, someone was asking their followers for money?
Yeah, I think it was and she went to Love Island like 2 years ago, and she was asking her followers, "Oh, can you give me some money?" I was shocked. That's like so embarrassing. That's like the last thing I would resort to. But what do you guys think of the entertainment industry? Like, have you booked any shows or like Afro Nation or Glastonbury?
No.
No?
I feel like right now it's very unstable, but it's like it's good and bad. As in, it's bad as in like for artists that, so let's say musicians, I know they get a lot of their money from performing, from concerts. Like that's where a lot of their revenue comes from, and because that's been put on the stop, it is hard for them because like, why am I gonna put out all this music, all this energy, and I'm not going to be able to perform? You get me? But it's nice to see the change, as in how, for example, you have the Versus thing on Instagram.
What's that? The Versus thing?
So it's like, I think it's something Timberland set up where you have like I think recently Keisha Cole and Ashanti.
Oh, did you watch that? That was hilarious.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it just shows you like how innovative people can be with whatever industry they're in. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So that was the end of the podcast. So thank you guys for joining. Thanks for getting involved in the podcast. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we can see you guys soon to get involved in more conversations with us. Be sure to also get involved by using the hashtag CLMPODCAST and follow our Twitter at CLMPODCAST1, Instagram at CLMPODCAST. Before we go, I want to leave you guys with a question which you can get involved in on Twitter, which is, do you think the pandemic is the main barrier for changing careers or job roles? So please get involved, guys. Please follow us on social media. And we look forward to you guys tuning in to another podcast with us. Thank you, Shaniqua and Sammie, for joining as well.